In this video, I count down my 6 favorite beaches on the island of Rhodes. Rhodes is located in the Aegean Sea and is part of the Dodecanese island group in Greece. I like the small, secluded, out-of-the-way beach, which is maybe an adventure to get to and maybe hard to find. I avoid the large, crowded, organized beaches. So if that is what you're looking for, this might not be the video for you. However, that being said, one of my top beaches on this list is a small organized beach located at the bottom of a cliff. This video will go over all the beach amenities, the sand, water conditions, and most importantly, how to find them. I also will give the pros and cons of each beach. Snorkeling in Greece is not that great, but the island of Rhodes seems to be an exception, and it is the best. I'm going to proclaim Rhodes the best snorkeling on all of Greece. In the description below, I have links to extensive videos on each one of these beautiful beaches. My favorite mode of transportation on Greek islands is by scooter, and below I have a link to my Greek island scooter survival guide. Let's count down. Number 6 on my list is Burial Chambers Secret Beach. I found this beach when I was checking out some ancient burial chambers nearby. While walking the trail, a young couple told me about a secret beach. I'm heading to this Burial Mounds beach. This young couple just told me they were up there. It's very cool. There's a secret beach. They told me where that was. This beach could easily have been number 1 on this list, except for one important factor: getting to the beach. As you can see, the small beach is tucked under a cliff, and there are 2 possible ways to get here. First is this rope attached to the rocks, which did not look too stable to me. This red line shows my original route to the rope. However, I think you could hike a goat trail to the adjacent beach, which looks very secluded all on its own. But then you could either hike or swim to this very cool beach. Next time I'm in Rhodes, I'll definitely figure this out and enjoy a whole day here, because this beach is absolutely amazing. 5 on my list is Tregonau Caves Beach. It's about 17 minutes south of Rhodes town, and there is free parking by the Taverna. The tavern has food, drinks, and a bathroom. And I had lunch here before I walked to the caves. After you depart the tavern, you walk down the boardwalk and turn left, and soon the boardwalk will end. Then you will walk across the stone beach past more sunbeds to the caves. You will need shoes because the stones are quite hot. Also, there is no shade near the caves until the afternoon sun starts its descent behind the cliffs. Also, this beach has one awesome feature, and over around this corner, there's some caves, but just a few feet into the water, there's thousands of fish, minnows, school of different types of fish, and they all pretty much stay with their own kind, but there's thousands of them. And when I was able just to float, I was completely surrounded by them. The number 4 beach on my list is Persinus Beach, and it's on the southern end of the island. This is the famous Persinus Beach, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, on the southern tip of the island of Rhodes. It's easy to find. Just keep driving south until you reach the end of the island. There is plenty of free parking, restaurants, and sand. This wonderful beach is where the Mediterranean Sea and the Aegean Seas meet. It's full of parasailing, windsurfing, and beautiful places to swim. And this thin strip of sand separates the 2 famous seas. This beach attracts windsurfers and sail surfers from all over the world, and they're really fun to watch. On the Aegean side, there are mostly kite surfers. And then on the Mediterranean side, there's a massive amount of windsurfers. Also, at the end of the long beach, I went into a little cove here, and the snorkeling here was not bad at all. And also at the end of the beach, there's a place where you can learn how to kite surf or sail surf, and Like I said earlier, in the town, there are restaurants and plenty of places to park, and you can walk way out on this island. Out there too far, but I'm sure there are a lot of beaches. Overall, this is a really fun and unique place to spend the day at the beach, and you won't regret coming here. Coming in at number 3 on my list is Cape Archangelos Beach, and it's not easy to get here, but so worth it. And it is near the town of Archangelo, or Archangel, I believe, and that is part way off the road between Rhodes and Lindostown. Contrary to what some people think, you can drive all the way to the trailhead to the entrance of this beach by car. Many people will stop and park here and walk to the trailhead of the beach. However, you don't really need to do that. The road is not that bad. Just be careful. You can drive all the way down here. The one thing I'll caution you about is parking under a tree, because the goats will climb on your rental car to eat the leaves off the tree. After you park, you'll easily see the trailhead for the hike down to the beach. The trail's not too bad. It is challenging in a few spots. However, there were a lot of kids down at the beach. You just have to be careful. When you come here, just make sure you bring plenty of food and water, because there are no amenities here. There are a few trees for shade, and there's some cliffs. So later in the day when the sun goes down, you'll get some shade. However, I brought an umbrella. As you can see, the beach is all sand. You don't need water shoes here. People were jumping off this rock out in the water, and the snorkeling is not too bad. There are rocks out in the water. This beach and the next beach on my list are absolutely incredible, except for one problem which might bother you, and that is the goats. The goats are fun to have around, and I fed them, except when you're out in the water, they will get into your stuff. But I think the biggest problem is the goat poop is freaking everywhere. I had to brush goat droppings away from where I was sitting on the sand, so if that bothers you, this is not the beach for you. My number 2 beach on Rhodes is the absolutely stunning Red Sand Beach. The best way to get here really is by a boat tour. However, there is a way to hike in, and if you do that, you'll have this incredible beach all to yourself in between the boats coming and going. The Google reviews state that from these cliffs there was a rope in a crevasse that you could go down to get to this beach. However, in the summer of 2023, when I was there, that rope was gone. So the best way to get in here is from my number 3 beach, Cape Archangelos Beach. You get to Cape Archangelos Beach, you walk to the very end, and that's where you hike the goat trail to Red Sand Beach. In my full Red Sand Beach video in the description below, I filmed the entire hike, and this beach is spectacular. And if you hike in here, make sure you bring plenty of water and food. There's no shade at all. I brought a beach umbrella with me, but you can hug the cliffs and maybe find some shade. And like I said, between the boats coming and going, it's really beautiful to hang out here. The snorkeling here is not as good as other beaches I found on Rhodes, but if you're adventurous enough to hike in here, it really is worth it. The only problem is, not unlike Cape Archangelos Beach, are the goats, and they will get into your stuff, and there are goat droppings everywhere, but you know, I kind of like the goats. Before I move on to my number 1 beach, I just want to mention 2 other beaches that looked really interesting to me, and one was Anthony Quinn Beach, and the other one is St. Paul Bay Beach, which has a fantastic view of the Lindos Acropolis. But when I went by each of these beaches, they were just absolutely packed with people, so I just rolled on past them on my scooter. The last day here, I found my absolute favorite beach on Rhodes, and my number 1 favorite beach on the island of Rhodes is called Grand Blue Beach. I usually avoid the organized beaches in favor of the hard to get to, or maybe an adventure to find, more secluded beaches. However, in this case, I had a very enjoyable day at Grand Blue Beach. To get to the beach, you leave the main road between Rhodes and Lindos, toward the beach town of Stena. After a drive through town past the beach bars and restaurants, you will come to this sign and turn up this road, and shortly you will be arriving at the restaurant above this beautiful beach. Blue Grand Beach, and here it is. The entrance is way up there. You gotta walk down this trail. It's got a bar, bathrooms, changing room. I got one sunbed. It cost me €15. Usually I try to avoid organized beaches. I like the out-of-the-way beaches that are hard to get to. And I've been to some of those here that were just spectacular. But this beach, to me, is the nicest. I think they spread pea gravel all over. The best thing about this beach is the epic snorkeling here. And I must say, this beach has the best snorkeling that I have seen on the island of Rhodes, or maybe in all of Greece. So many fish down there. You'll see, you know, it's a smaller beach. Well, the girl at the bar told me that because it's October and there aren't as many people here, a lot of the fish come into this area. And there are a ton of them, but I swam between those two rocks, and if you take a left there and go beyond, there's a cave you can swim in. Thank you. You have a beautiful beach here.
Thank you very much.
It's paradise.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you. We'll see you next time.